The Toronto Raptors are staking their future in their young talent, and a lot of the scoring for the future needs to come from RJ Barrett, who was sensational in his half season with the Raptors, but should fans really be expecting another huge leap forward going into the next season? Let's get into it. And as far as the Raptors betting on RJ Barrett, they are betting on a lot of different players within the team, as I said. Most notably Scottie Barnes, with the focal point certainly of the rebuild, but a lot of what the Raptors want to do going forward really relies on RJ Barrett, and the reliance is on him to continue to score at the rate that he was, again, in his half season with the Raptors last year after coming from the New York Knicks, where he completely transformed his game, where I pictured RJ Barrett as somebody who maybe had unrealized potential, who wasn't an efficient player, and didn't necessarily play the best brand of basketball. Their talent was always there. That was on showcase in high school. That was on showcase at Duke in college. That was even on showcase with the New York Knicks, but not completely on showcase. It just felt like RJ Barrett wasn't always taking the best shots, and it felt like RJ Barrett maybe wasn't efficient enough from three to compensate from what he lacked maybe on the interior as a scorer. But so much has changed in his time with the Raptors, and it happened rather instantly, which showcases that all of the development has come from RJ Barrett as a decision maker, and the Raptors, specifically head coach Darko Rajakovic, providing him the tools to be the best version of himself on the floor. A lot of where they want to get RJ Barrett involved in the offense is on the right side of the floor. He drives towards the paint and kind of hooks around all the way to the left side of the rim, where he can finish with his dominant left hand. And in those areas, he can make reads out of the high post, has experience playing as a playmaker, did so in college as the point guard for Duke in a team that had Cam Reddish and most notably Zion Williamson on it. But RJ Barrett has always had a lot of different tools in his bag, not necessarily showcasing them to the fullest until he arrived with the Toronto Raptors, where again, the game that he brought completely changed. And the thing that changed the most, again, was in the scoring category as far as efficiency is concerned. Like, here's a guy who averaged in the 40s for effective field goal percentage for a number of years, and then all of a sudden was averaging above 60% in an effective field goal percentage. That is just insane. Now, we know that RJ Barrett was great with the Raptors in that half season he was there. We know that he continued to be great in the Olympics this summer playing for Team Canada, but how much of a jump can we really expect from him? Can we really expect these numbers to continue for RJ Barrett? Well, this was a question that was posed on Twitter by a very good account called NBA University that discussed RJ Barrett's leap with the Raptors and if we should be expecting another leap to come for the player. They talked about how he's improved his efficiency tremendously at the rim. He's now shooting 72% at the rim. He was astonishing on three-pointers, shooting over 40% from the corner and high 30s in non-corner three-point attempts. With all of these great things associated with RJ Barrett, can we expect a leap to come? But that's difficult to say if it's going to come, because how much of this is really sustainable for RJ Barrett? What should Raptors fans really be expecting from him as far as this season is concerned? I will hopefully have the answer for you today, right here on Amateur Hour Sports, the YouTube channel completely dedicated to Toronto Raptors content. And I was astonished by RJ Barrett's season with the Raptors, because I was one of the people who was certainly a non-believer in RJ Barrett's game really scaling up, but he very quickly proved me wrong. It's not the largest sample size that we had with the Raptors, but it was still like a pretty good sample of games that showcase his ability. And again, short sample size at the Olympics, but it was just like he was the exact same player there that he was with the Raptors. That further leads me to believe that this is the real RJ Barrett. But again, going back to those statistics, 72% rim finishing, above 60% with an effective field goal percentage, near 22 points per game. That's just like really, really good, almost too good. Too good for me to say that, can he really do this over the course of an entire NBA season? Can he really play 70, 75 plus games and average this level of numbers? I'm starting to believe that he has the ability to do so. The issue is, it's going to be really difficult to do that. But again, I am starting to believe that RJ Barrett has the ability to start to produce these numbers on a consistent basis. The real reason I wanted to make this video is because after NBA University posted this, naturally, a lot of Raptors Twitter accounts that I follow had reactions to it. And it's been overwhelmingly positive, suggesting that it's almost a given that he's going to continue to develop and he's going to take a leap next season. It's almost a given that he's just going to continue to get better. But It's tough to say he's going to get better than this. Like, this is pretty remarkable. But the thing about RJ Barrett from a development standpoint is that the success for him, it does not have to be linear. Now, it could be. The reality is he's been around for a long time, but having been around for a long time, it makes people forget that he has only just turned 24 years old. Rather astonishingly, he has just turned 24 years old. He turned 24 in June. It's going to be really difficult to replicate these numbers, even more difficult to build on these numbers. But I think that RJ Barrett produced such a high level for the Raptors that even if we slightly regress in some of these categories, we still have a remarkable season from RJ Barrett. I want to see the usage climb a little bit more because a lot of the scoring power is going to have to come from Barrett. Now, again, going back to what I said at the start of the video, yes, the Raptors are betting their future on RJ Barrett, but more of it's being staked certainly on Scottie Barnes as the centerpiece of this team. But Scottie Barnes is really the do-it-all star who can progress as a scorer. But at the moment, the real scoring power, the real scoring pop for this team, especially going into this season, the first year of the rebuild for the Raptors, that scoring pop really has to be on RJ Barrett, and they are really going to lean on him to do it. And if he can stack up to what the Raptors are trying to throw at him as a scorer, being that lead sort of scoring option for the team, if he can stack up to all of that, it will just set up the Raptors completely going forward, having this player who, look, let's increase the usage. Like, even if the efficiency drops, we drop to an effective field goal percentage of, 57, 58. We're still strong on twos. We're still shooting threes at a pretty, we don't need 40% from threes, but can we keep it at 38%? That would still be remarkable for RJ Barrett. But with a higher usage, can we get his points up to 23, 24 points per game? I think it's certainly possible. And if we do, my goodness, what a player RJ Barrett is. And my goodness, RJ Barrett is in the goddamn all-star conversation for this season, which was certainly unexpected when he arrived from the New York Knicks in the trade with OG Anunoby, which to this day, I believe, the Raptors sought out that OG Anunoby trade specifically because they wanted Immanuel QUickley. They got RJ Barrett because the Knicks didn't really want to continue to pay that salary. They thought they could work on him a little bit, but I don't think in the expectations of the Raptors front office did they think they were getting this level of a player with RJ Barrett. And what a bonus to that trade it was. The trade already looked good at the time. Even when I had a bit of a negative connotation associated with RJ Barrett, I thought that trade was a win for the Raptors. Even more so in this present day going into the 2024-2025 season, because what a remarkable player he is. As far as what the Raptors fans should be expecting from a leap, if there should be a leap, it would depend entirely on your definition of a leap. I think RJ Barrett could regress in a few of these categories, but still take a leap in a way that if he's doing somewhere close to this for an entire season, the fact that he has that consistency showcases a massive leap forward as a player. If RJ Barrett can produce slightly regressed numbers, but at higher usage, I would consider that another huge leap forward for the player and for the team. So as far as calling it a given, he is going to continue to improve, I'm not so sure about that. If RJ Barrett maintains the same level for the whole season, that would be a miraculous 2024-2025 season, and we would have to absolutely consider that a win as Raptors fans. But I don't know if we'd necessarily consider that a leap. It'd just be RJ Barrett continuing to produce this outrageous level for the Raptors. Again, strong for the team and showcasing a very much winning bet on the player as a scorer for this team going forward. I'm a believer. He's converted me. I'm very excited to see what RJ Barrett produces in the upcoming season for the Raptors because they're betting on internal development, and a lot of that can come from Barnes, QUickley, and others, but a lot of it also needs to come from the Canadian, the hometown kid, RJ Barrett. So what do you think about the upcoming season for Barrett? Do you anticipate a big leap forward? What does that look like for you? Let me know all of your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below, because that's it for me for today. Drop a like if you enjoyed this video from Amateur Sports, and I will see you again next time for another video.